During the Revolutionary War, an escaped slave joined the Brits and led a squad that terrorized slave owners, freed slaves, and held Patriots hostage. Bet you never learned about him in history class though. What up, I'm Che and welcome to the Black Joy Club where we celebrate us. Today we're celebrating Titus Cornelius, better known as Colonel Tye. This man was the original by any means necessary with receipts. So picture it, it's 1775, the Revolutionary War has just kicked off, and colonists are talking all this liberty and justice for all, except for black folks. Then this British dude, Lord Dunmore, the governor of Virginia, told all the slaves, hey, if you make it to our side, you'll be free. Now don't get it twisted, the Brits weren't exactly woke. They just wanted to cripple the American economy and win the war. And what better way to do that than to tell a quarter of the population, if you roll with us, you're free. So Dunmore throws together the Ethiopian Regiment, and this was essentially an all-star group of escaped slaves who were down to fight for the British. Enter Titus Cornelius. He was born into slavery in Jersey to some Quakers who were supposed to free him at age 21. But his master was like, yeah, about that. No. So when the war pops off, Titus escapes, he joins Dunmore's regiment, and he starts making a name for himself as a soldier. Now, the Ethiopian regiment didn't last long. Dunmore had to bounce to New York in 1776, but Titus, he wasn't done, okay? He heads back to Jersey, links up with the Black Loyalists, and by 1779, he's running a group called the Black Brigade, an elite guerrilla unit of black and white loyalists operating out of Sandy Hook, New Jersey, in a place called Refugee Town. These dudes specialized in night raids, okay? They were kidnapping patriots, freeing slaves, and jacking supplies. The title Colonel, well, the military wasn't trying to give that out, so his men gave it to him as an honor because they liked him so much. And that boy was a problem. He knew the land, and he had picked up guerrilla tactics from Native Americans, and he had the whole region on edge. This was the colonists' worst nightmare. Picture this, you're a patriot, it's in the middle of the night, you're dreaming about liberty and justice and all that, and then bam, Colonel Tye and his mixed race crew bust in your door. See, he and his men often targeted their former masters. So you're barely awake, and then you realize the person you terrorized and beat is back with his boys, and they're armed to the teeth. Stop. This is a Tarantino movie waiting to be made. If you were lucky, they just beat you down, stole your slaves, took all your stuff, took you hostage, and set your whole place on fire. But sometimes they kill people. No mercy. One raid in Shrewsbury, they made off with 80 cattle, 20 horses, and even took some of the town's big shots as hostages, and later got paid in gold for them. One raid in Middletown, they were only like 20 deep, but they kidnapped the two Patriot leaders and they spiked the military cannons so that people couldn't call for help. And most of their raids, they didn't lose a single man.
That boy is good.
The governor was so scared he put New Jersey under martial law. One story I read, they were trying to muster a militia and only 2 people turned up, and the officer literally wrote on the sheet, refused to come out because of Colonel Tye. They were so effective, British lines started to fill up because escaped slaves were inspired by their example. But like all legends, his run was cut short. September 1780, Tye leads a raid against Captain Joshua Huddy. He gets shot in the wrist, he gets infected, and a few days later, he dies at just 27. Joining the 27 Club, a list of legends who were gone too soon. His crew disbanded shortly after his death, and many of them ended up seeking freedom in Canada. Now let's be real, if Tye had fought for the Americans, he would have already had 2 movies out on him by now and a Netflix documentary. But since he was fighting for his freedom and not the freedom of his oppressors, his story has been lost to history. And that's why the New Jersey Historical Commission just dropped $24K to figure out how to best honor him and his Black Brigade. Give that man his flowers. Remember, Black joy is revolutionary. Keep shining.